Rise and grind, kings and queens, and welcome to the Y.C.S.T journey. I'm your host, Y to the D, also known as YD No Shorts, and you are now tapped in with the You Can't Say That podcast. But here, we into saying shit like, fuck it, say it anyway. So strap in, and let's take this journey together. Blessings, family.
You can shut the hell up. Just shut the hell up.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
You can shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
Alright, rise and grind, kings and queens, and welcome to the Y.C.S.T journey. As y'all know, I like to do segments, certain episodes where we don't have a specific topic that we speak on, but the topic is, let's talk about it. The topics that I want to touch on today, I have a special king with me, a unique individual. You know what I mean? It's my family, my blood, a brother from another mother, my cousin. You know what I mean? I know him as Lil Vermont, but you know, we trying to break that we trying to break that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? Call him, he take the little off. Like Lil Wayne did. Nigga, don't call me Lil Wayne. Just Y.C.S.T baby, don't forget the baby, man. So you know what I mean? Don't forget the Lil to take the Lil off. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? He goes by the name of Vermont. Or remote
and high def.
Remote.
I go by many names, you know.
Indeed, man. And this is solid intellectual motherfucker, man. This nigga, man.
Thank you.
We be having some combos, don't we?
Facts, bro.
We be having some combos,
Facts.
So, you know what I mean? I wanted, he gonna help me walk this out, you know what I'm saying? And we about to have some real combo in here, man. So, y'all strap in and let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
So, brother, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, bro. I woke up today and I counted my blessings. You know, that was a big thing today. My queen, like, she woke me up with an excellent text message. You know what I'm saying? And it drove me today. So, how about yourself?
Well, you know, yesterday, as we spoke about, you know what I'm saying, outside when we were smoking, you know, yesterday, I did the same. I like to do these things when it storms. Yesterday, and family, y'all can vouch for this. You know, when I was in Colorado, you know what I mean. Like all I kept asking for was, give me one good solid thunderstorm.
One thunderstorm.
Fuck, just one solid one. I need to recharge because that's my way of recharging. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And I got it yesterday. I got the perfect storm yesterday and came out to the garage and I just was sitting there, man. I was in a trance-like state because in those states, I like to, you know what I mean, kind of meditate and release bad energies, bad auras, and count my blessings, you know what I mean? And think about, revisit a lot of choices that I made, a lot of things that have come into my life and things that have left my life. And so, you know, when you came out, you was like, what's going on, bro? You good? And I'm like, I'm just chilling. And I like the demeanor that I had. It was just like, yeah, like, leave me the fuck alone, bro. Like, you know what I mean? But it wasn't that per se. But you know what I mean? I was just in that mode to where I'm like, okay, now I'm meditating and I need my time. You know what I mean? To release these.
You in your element.
Facts. So you know what I mean? And I appreciate you doing what you did. You know what I'm saying? To lead me to it. A lot of people don't do that. They want to sit down and start having conversation and they fuck up that whole. You know what I'm saying? They interrupt the whole. You know what I mean? Transition from you know what I'm saying the week,
the physical,
you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like this is a whole week and a week or so of bad energy that I have on me, and you know what I'm saying? At some point in time, family, you have to release this energy. You can't just keep walking around, you know what I'm saying, with this energy and these bad auras on you, because you have to understand when you walk into a room, people can feel that, whether you're projecting that energy or not.
People call
it's
it
still,
vibes.
You know what I mean? Vibes. You know what I mean? And I don't like to bring them type of vibes into nowhere.
Facts.
That's
one thing we share in common, like the thunderstorms and lightning has always been that for me. You know what I'm saying? It's connected me with the higher, with the higher planes, with the spiritual and things of that nature. Especially the way the lightning dances across the sky. You know what I'm saying? With the soothing sounds of the rain pitter pattering and you know thunder coming in every now and then, things like that, bro. It really takes me to another place, as I imagine it does for you as well.
Man, it took me to a whole nigga. My eyes was bloodshot red after that session, bro.
Understood.
You don't even realize you're not blinking, goddamn. But you know what I mean, I know the neighbors, if they was looking in, goddamn, like, what the fuck is wrong with this nigga? I'm just staring off into the abyss, like, you know what I mean, not blinking or nothing. You know what I mean? And then when it's over and I walk into the house, I'm like, damn, my eyes burn. You know what I mean? Realize the nigga wasn't fucking blinking. I wasn't blinking, bro. You know what I mean? I needed it.
So I don't blink. You know what I mean? Yeah, facts.
So, brother, what I like to do is, you got your drink.
I got it right
I want to
here.
toast before and after. You know what I mean?
There it is.
This journey that we're about to take together.
There it is, bro. I takes a sip to that.
All right. So first, I want to start off with you know, we were having a conversation. I want to revisit that conversation we were having day before yesterday.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was a real conversation. You had asked me some questions that got me emotional, and I asked you some questions. I could see in your eyes it was kind of, you know what I'm saying, something that bothered you as well. We were speaking about a specific individual. On my platform, we don't like to say names of anything negative.
Copy,
you know what I'm saying?
Copy.
But we were speaking about bro. One of the bros, and him being a only child, you know what I mean, and receiving everything he had. Man, this dude had everything that we wanted as kids, because you know, family, as you know what I'm saying. We and him as well. We come out of the mud. You know what I'm saying. We both was you know what I mean, coming out of Akron, Ohio and stuff. You originally from?
I'm from Oakland, East Oakland to be exact, 4800 Perk Block, High Street shit.
So, you know what I mean, we actually come for that poverty and whatnot, and bro that we were speaking on, he didn't come from that. He didn't move to that until he was about 15, you know what I'm saying? He moved to Akron, Ohio, but he would come out and visit, and why we were speaking about that is because I couldn't understand. I was letting cuz know that I couldn't understand why someone that comes from the background that he comes from and had everything that he needed and wanted, you know what I'm saying, will want to come to and live the lifestyle that we had to. We didn't have a choice. That lifestyle chose us. You know what I mean? And, you know, and he chose willingly to live the lifestyle that we were, of struggling, poverty, living in projects, street type life, you know what I mean, and just dealing with, you know what I'm saying, the everyday, you know what I'm saying, obstacles of coming up less fortunate. And you were also
I was a single child. I grew up in a household, was raised by my mother to the age of 18. That's around the time that I ended up meeting my father, which is where we share our bloodline, you know. And I'm not going to sit here and try to make it seem like, you know, I just had the most gangster life. I was all the ways out in the streets, you know. I was outside.
Yeah.
But I wasn't one of the niggas that like how niggas was out there selling, niggas was out there, you know, hitting licks and shit like that. I wanted to be a part of that. You feel me? I wanted to be a part of that because it was an acceptance. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't know if you want to jump right in.
Let's go in, brother.
Okay.
Let's go in.
So pretty much I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. From the time I was born, my mother got baptized, things like that. And as most people know, you know, as a Jehovah's Witness, you don't celebrate none of the holidays. You knocking at people's doors on Saturdays and things like that. And it's embarrassing, especially when you're a child, you know what I'm saying, because you're trying to fit in. But what made things even more complicated for myself was the fact that, and you hear a lot of people say this from time to time, anyone you meet, I think outside of the box. And my thinking is outside of that box. That box that people so-called think outside of, they're still within the box. You feel me? And so I was rejected a lot. In fact, that was one of the conversations I had with my queen, is like, you know, I've never really been accepted anywhere. And that's something that I've always searched for. So to get back to family, it was like, man, hey, when you're growing up in a situation, and I don't really know his situation, but I know my own. My mother, and I had to find this out from one of my aunts. My mother and my father left me on a curb. They got into an argument, and my father was like, hey, I don't have to deal with this. And my mother felt the same way, so she was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go my separate way too. And they just left me in a stroller in front of my auntie's house, and she came and got me. But
Damn.
she knew the feeling of passing her children on. She's done that before. She did that with two kids, and so she was able to talk to my mother and say, hey, come back. And something that I didn't share with you was my mother always wanted a girl. And so at a young age, I had an afro, 9 things, and my mother turned it into braids. And it wasn't until she started studying with Jehovah's Witnesses that a few of the elders of the congregation came and said, hey, you can't do that boy like that.
Yeah.
And so the individuals that I call my brothers, the family that I built, their fathers were the ones that were fathers to me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me ask you this. As far as the Jehovah Witness, did you understand, or you know what I'm saying, like how or why, you know what I'm saying, your situation was what it was, and why y'all was going door to door, knocking on people's doors? Like, did you understand that situation?
That's an excellent question. So kind of just a little footnote. One of the closest, my brother, rest up, his birthday just passed July 7th.
Rest in paradise, King.
His mother always wanted him to be like me because I was heavily into that Jehovah's Witness. And I called her recently, maybe a few days before his birthday. And we were having a conversation. And that's one thing that I expressed to her, to come back to your question, was we didn't understand.
Yeah.
As a child, they speak of spiritual things and drawing closer to God and developing your own relationship. But at that time, myself, and I can actually speak for my brother, like, we didn't know who God was.
Yeah.
You feel me? The whole reason that I dedicated my life, correction, pardon self, the whole reason I got baptized, because I ain't dedicate my life till later on in life. You feel me?
Yeah.
But the whole reason I got baptized was there was this particular girl that I liked. She was older than I was, and she used to babysit me and things like that. And I always wanted to be with her. But I knew that the only way that we could be together is if I had become what they call a baptized publisher. So I studied, and I got some intelligence about me, so I knew the right things to say in order to go through the whole process. But now it's like, wait a minute, I made an agreement. So many people talk about deals with the devil and things like that, but what about your deals with God?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And so I had made this deal with my creator saying, hey, yeah, I respect you. I know you're real and things like that, but I don't fully comprehend what this means. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, every day they're teaching us to go and preach what they call the good word, to go make disciples as Jesus did. And you meet with objection and things like that, but when you're so indoctrinated in a form of life, you stick to that code.
Right, because that's what you taught and you're bred of.
Right.
So with your mom being a Jehovah Witness, and she's instilling that in y'all, and also you said that your mom wanted you to be a girl. What was that like as a young man growing up in that single parent household, and being a boy trying to find yourself as a man? What was that like?
So just to keep it all transparent, I don't remember much from the times where she was like braiding my hair and things like that. But what I do remember is a lot of my brothers and sisters, I do remember a specific day, they all laughed at me. My mother attempted to cut my hair. And it was terrible.
Well, I used to want to grow my shit out for so fucking long. Goddamn, when I finally grew it out, now it's time to cut it. Give me ski ball. Like, shit, cut our shit low like yours. And then still try to line that motherfucker up, bro.
Bruh. My mama didn't even do that, bruh. People who are familiar with the bowl cut, that's what I got. And she sat me right up front, and I remember
that was the original Boosie fade. That was the original without a fade.
Without the fade.
Without a fade. You know what I mean? But that was the original Boosie fade. For all you niggas that don't know the history behind that fade. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, man.
So I remember sitting in the front row, and you know, I remember them actually laughing and talking about, you know, my hairstyle and things like that. And I remember one of the elders coming off the stage while he was giving a presentation and telling my mother, don't ever do that boy like that again. If he needs a haircut, I know where to take him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And from that point on, those fathers embraced me as their child. Growing up in the household with my mother is a teacher, and she's very intelligent. I actually come from two very intelligent people.
By the way, I don't mean to interrupt. By the way, we family through his daddy's side. His daddy's side is my legacy, the legacy that I come from. Right. You know what I mean, just to be clear, I never met your mom. I don't know much about your mom, but what you have exposed to me. I reckon that overall she's a unique individual. You know what I mean?
That's putting it politely.
I don't want to be the one.
Listen, man, I'm 36 now. Just for those who don't know, but I've had many of days sitting reflecting on who my mother is, and to keep it all tall, I don't know who my mother is. My mother ended up losing her mother at the age of 12. And she was the only girl in the house. She had to raise several males and things like that. My cousins, they're, you know, older cousins, things of that nature. Yeah. But my mother moved with that particular aunt that brought me in the house. She moved to California. She's originally from, you know, Tennessee and things like that. So they moved to California to start over. Now, my auntie went to party. She was a party animal. Yeah. You know, may she rest up. But my mother was always into academics. And that's one huge thing that she pushed on me. I remember nights of, you know, she was going to a particular college. Now, I'll say it. It's Laney College, Merritt College. And going to these colleges, and I would sit out in the car.
While she's in her school.
Right. While she's in class. And I remember every night, you know, especially dealing with Merritt College, for those out in town, they know, you know, that Taco Bell right at the base of 35th, you go up the hill to Merritt College, we'd stop and get a 7-layer burrito. That was my dinner. You feel me? And so the things that my mother was learning in school, she was trying to implement with me. And it wasn't the greatest. One of the biggest issues that I'm gonna be all the way transparent. One of the biggest one of the biggest issues that I still have with my mother to this day is that she has time for everybody else's child but her own. It's never been. She's taking care of me out of her duty of being a mother. Yeah. It's never been out of a love for the human being that you bring into this world. Right. You know what I'm saying? And
were you her first kid?
I was.
You were the first kid. Yeah.
Now my mother,
she fresh at this
right?
Shit too.
So my mother, I don't know if this, but whatever. Just to kind of give you a little background of what I do know is, and I'm gonna make it comical. There is a lot of women out there that talk about they love niggas with big dicks. That's not true. A lot of those women are out there scared.
Yeah.
And my mother happened to be one of those individuals. A few of the...
What, that was scared of a big dick? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. She met some guys through the course of her, schooling career and things like that she was really feeling. She really liked them. But they were blessed, and when it came time for that, when they were looking for something like that, she didn't want to participate in those activities. And in some of those instances, the men forced themselves on my mother. In some of those instances, she just backed out, and the man was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. I've been in a couple of those situations,
right?
Not forcing or anything, but being like, once we get there, and then she down. Once she see the wood, you know what I mean?
They ain't ready.
You know what I mean? Like, damn, like, you just gonna, you know what I mean? Yeah. So just I said that just to say, yeah, I know what it's like to be in that situation.
Right. Yeah. That you hear all across media and shit like that, women talk about, he got to be like this, he got to be like that, and half these women is scared of that.
Can't even take it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna drop another bomb on you that you really don't know, and I don't think my father's side of the family know, even if my father doesn't know. Mm-hmm. I was actually a twin.
Oh, word.
I was a twin. The other one didn't make it. I made it.
Oh.
I made it.
So that means that should give it even more meaning to the word "I'm here for a purpose," because you made it instead of him, and he could have made it instead of you, or both of y'all could be here.
Right. So I came a whole month early. I was very much premature.
Mm-hmm. I can tell. I just want to throw that out. I could definitely tell.
Hey, the funny thing, bro? I literally found out maybe a month ago. All this time I thought I was breastfed. No. I knew about the.
Okay, I was like, damn, you just found out.
I knew about the twin for quite some time. That's, bro. Honestly, that was something I was gonna take to the grave.
Why?
Because I misunderstood. I'm alone, or I should say, I was alone in this world. Mm-hmm. And every relationship that I've had was based on the idea that this individual gets me.
Yeah.
And it's been false. Mm. And it's not been false on their end, it's been false on mine. Mm. A type of feeling of emptiness. You know what I'm saying? And
where do you think that emptiness really come from, though? Like, was that was the basis that I wanted to tap into this journey right here of being a single being a male being raised by you know what I mean, being an only child.
And so for me, as I imagine it is with most children in my situation, when you have, matter of fact, you brought up about vibes. You're talking about energy, right? Children are the closest to that. They just came from a place that is nothing but pure energy.
Yeah.
Even if you look at it scientifically, they come from nothing but pure energy, right? So they can detect when things are not right.
Indeed. Right off the rip, though.
Off the
rip.
What
I mean? If you ever notice, like, when you come around a kid, you know what I'm saying, for the first time, and, you know what I mean, either they're shy or they don't like you. Mm-hmm. I've seen kids when certain people come around and, you know what I'm saying, as soon as they, hey, you know what I mean, get introduced, hey, this is, and they be like, say hi, and they get to crying and shit, you know what I mean? And they be like, damn, like, what's going on with y'all? Now, at that time, when I was seeing this shit, I didn't understand energy. I wasn't on this spiritual journey and shit that I'm on. So I would be like, damn, why? I love this person.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Why you acting like that? You know what I mean? But I definitely understand it now.
They connect with that energy, and we have so many as a society in America and around the world, even in some countries. You think about I want to say is Indonesia. You know, when they pick the next Dalai Lama, they looking for a reincarnation because they believe that this individual has been here before. And we say it in our own culture, like, oh, you act like you been here before. You know what I'm saying? That's because we have. This energy has been floating around since time indefinite. You know what I'm saying? And that was one thing that I didn't understand it while I was growing up. And it took for me to sit in a box and be isolated and be removed from everything for me to fully analyze it and come to some type of overstanding.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
To realize like, hey, I always knew my mother didn't love me the way that there are mothers out there that love their children.
Yeah.
The way your mama love you.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Is that the way, because I want to say this and I want to be very clear. Because I'm not immune to this shit either. I've told you. You know what I mean? Before we started. You know, people from the outside looking in, you know what I mean, would say, yeah, your mom, we wanted that love, you know what I'm saying? Especially a child, you know what I'm saying, a single child, like only child, you know what I mean? You know, you see us and, you know what I mean, you be like, I want that love. My mom don't love, why my mom don't love me like that? Like,
Right.
whoop, da da da. My mom was very flawed as well too. She was a baby when she had, you know what I'm saying, most of us, and you know what I'm saying, and you know, she was very flawed, and there was a lot of love that we also sought out
Long
and
for,
didn't smell that type of love, you know what I mean? And it caused us to, you know what I'm saying, ask questions about ourselves, like, you know what I'm saying, and you know, it kind of goes to, you know, we were having a conversation, what was it, day before yesterday, about your homeboy, or your people's, somebody you know or whatever that committed suicide for his mother's birthday.
Right. So
you know what I mean?
so I was gonna
like,
tap
you know what
on
I'm
that.
saying? Yeah. So
it was I don't know if individuals follow, you know, Bay Area music and things like that. I grew up in the town, and it's been that. It's always town business. So when we was younger, you know, we was introduced to individuals like Kick the Sneak, Too Short, you know, later on Fabby Davis coming along and things like that. But one of the groups, the Mechanics, and you know they get on tracks and things like that. But anyway, there is a mixtape, if I'm not mistaken, that's called it's as Hook Mitchell, or I can't remember the exact name of it. Hook Mitchell was a huge influence in the Bay Area, you know, especially Oakland and things like that. But there is a song called I Can't Feel Love. And basically what they was talking about, which I happen to know an individual that was his older brother, his oldest was ended up killed in the streets, and then he had a middle brother that was locked up. He wasn't coming home, and their mother wasn't really paying any attention. Their mother was trying to numb her own pains. Yeah. So this song, this particular verse is about this individual where his mindset, the best gift that he could give his mother was his own death, and he committed suicide. And from that time period, from me hearing that song and reflecting on it, it made me really sit back and think about love. And I was thinking about my mother. My mother has not known love. So how can we pass this idea of love on to someone if we've never experienced it? We don't know what it really is. And for those individuals that read the Bible, of course in the Bible it says that God is love. Well, you don't know God and you don't know love. Yeah. You feel me? Yeah. So how can I sit and tell somebody, hey, I love you? Yeah. And there was an individual that I ended up getting into a confrontation with, but before that confrontation happened, he laid some wisdom on me. And he said that I no longer say that I love you. Yeah. I care about you. Yeah. Because all the individuals, especially when you get locked up, being locked up, just to segue real quick, being locked up is worse than death.
In ways. Let's agree to disagree.
Facts.
Because
We
I've
can
been
do
locked
that.
up multiple times. Not like you and the
Right.
time that you've done.
Right.
But I've never been to prison, but I've been locked up in multiple counties and done 3 months. You know what I mean? Months, multiple times. So
Mm-hmm.
I know the experience, and I can just say let's agree to disagree because
Okay,
you know
that's
what I mean.
fair. That's fair.
I needed those sit downs.
Yeah, you no.
I needed those sit
So
downs because
the-
I would have been dead otherwise.
and
You know
get
I
what
mean?
I'm saying. I agree with that 1,000%. For the individual that is locked up, that's what you need personally.
Yeah.
You feel me? But the reason why I say that it is worse than death is because when you're dead, there is no more. As far as you walking around this earth.
Yeah, in
your
this realm.
energy.
In
Yeah,
this
right,
realm.
right,
Yeah.
right. Your energy continues on. But when you're locked up, you are forgotten. You're thought of as dead. Even though people say, "Oh no, I never forgot about you, and I always thought about you." You're considered that you're dead,
Yeah,
but you're alive.
Your position is now in void for the moment. You're grayed out. Me and my niggas, we made up this thing. You know how when you go to click on something, but you can't click on it because it's grayed out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, when you locked up, your ass is grayed out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Until
Facts.
you come back into the light. You know what I mean?
There's another thing that I would like to add. That as far as support, okay, for those listeners out there, most listeners think that when someone contacts them from prison, they are thinking that they just want money.
Yeah,
And a
no,
lot
that's
of
facts.
people ask for that. True. I don't know how much y'all know, but in prison, and I had a good job. I worked in the library.
Yeah.
I was making $18 a month. So that means that everything I have to take care of for that month is based off of these $18. I have to finesse.
And,
really.
and hold on, just to be clear, $18 a month in there is decent. You know what I mean?
Right.
Based on what niggas get paid to work in the
The
kitchen
average-
and all these other
exactly,
jobs
exactly.
and shit.
So-
So it may not seem like a lot on the outside world, but on the inside, man, that shit can take you. It can take you somewhere. Yeah.
So I'll break some prices down to you. So your laundry, they tell you that it's free. Now you could either take it down to the institution to wash, but it's not going to get washed.
And this is in prison, though.
This
right?
is in
Yeah,
prison.
yeah.
This is in actual prison, not jail, not county, none of that.
Yeah.
So to get your clothes washed is about $2, or we call it a summer dog. Summer dogs go for $1.75. Okay. Now, off of that, you have your essentials that you need. We're gonna go with hygiene. Okay. Your hygiene, you could get the Irish Spring. We was talking about the Irish Spring. Fuck with the Irish Spring. Yeah, fuck with the Irish Spring.
is dove in that bitch.
Yeah, facts. Oh, you don't even want to know what a bar of Dove costs you.
Man,
a bar
already
of Dove,
know. Hey.
a bar of Dove is like $3.
Man, they run you in the county too,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
for
facts,
a bar,
facts.
you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? For a
facts,
bar,
facts,
a dub.
facts.
And then this is one of the little small ass
Exactly,
bars of dub.
exactly. And you only getting one of them.
Yeah, you only getting one.
So you have those things. Now, if you are an individual, myself, I didn't ride the phone. I ain't talk on the phone. I did, bro, I probably did like 8-9 years without talking on the phone, for real.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Why though? Tell the family why. You know what I mean? Because I know why. Because I did the same thing when every time I got locked up, I just really didn't. I didn't want write me a letter. Write me a letter.
It means more. It means more when you have a letter. Number one, but number two, there was a guy that when I first got locked up, he had just did like 15 or something like that, and I asked him for advice. There are guys, if you're an individual that's looking, you about to get locked up and you about to do some heavy time, man, connect with them old schools. I know in society right now, you know, it ain't about the old schools, it's young niggas doing everything, you feel me? But connect with them old heads. And he ended up telling me, he gave me his advice on how to do my time. He said, stay away from the 3 G's. Gangs, gays, and gambling. he also told me, don't ride the phone. The phone is going to make you miss what is out there.
Yeah.
Even more. And it's going to eat you up. So prison is not like how people think it is and what they see on TV.
Explain that. Please explain that, because motherfuckers is really, they be getting on my nerves when they be talking that goofy shit. They watch too much TV.
Right.
Explain as a nigga that did 10 years, goddamn. Explain what it was like.
So first and foremost, prison is about mentality. Either you weak mentally or you strong mentally. Period. Anything that happens off of that. Number two, as the time went on, so I'll speak about the beginning of the time that I got locked up. The beginning of the time that I got locked up, it was still dangerous. Yeah. And not saying that prison ain't dangerous now, but it was very dangerous then. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You had individuals that were, they were a part of gangs, but they stood on their own too. They could get it on their own. Yeah. As I left, you had individuals that were a part of groups because they couldn't get it on their own. Right. They had talked that talk. In the beginning, when I got locked up, people played for keeps. And depending on what state you're in, they still play that way. You feel what I'm saying?
So like, if you weak and you go into prison, like you going to find a group or you know what I'm saying, a gang or an organization that stand with, you know what I mean, that is true.
And man, I've seen people auctioned off. Damn. I've seen white boys that come in there. There was this one, he kind of looked like Harry Potter. So everybody called him Harry Potter, right? And as soon as he walked through the door, you know, where I was at, it was pods. You have a few places where they still do the sales. Yeah. Single man sales is almost obsolete just because the prisons are overcrowded and it's more cost efficient to have a pod. Okay. Your higher level ups, they deal with the sales, and usually it's 2 people in that sales, maybe even 3 or 4, unless you go to SEG. SEG, you might get some U time. You might get your own little privacy. Most likely you're not.
SEG was my place.
SEG stands for segregation.
Purposely send me there, nigga. If I gotta start an argument or a fight with a guard, goddamn, then so be it, nigga.
That's your solitude.
You know what I mean? Your solitude. Because I like to be alone. I don't like to be around a bunch of new energies and then these unknown energies and this other grown ass man. Right. I don't know you from tick from tack, and you know you're in my privacy. I gotta, you know what I mean? Because you know most of the time in the county, now I know about the county. In the county, you know what I'm saying, like when you on lockdown or whatnot, you know what I'm saying, you most of the time you washing your ass at the sink, you know what I mean? When you take a shit and you got a celly, that celly is most likely in there.
You put the sheets
up,
yeah,
you know
so
what I'm saying?
So
that just
little things like that, bruh. Like people don't know that, you know what I'm saying? If you want to keep your milk cold from breakfast, you put it on a floss and you put it in the toilet, the metal seat toilets. You know what I'm saying? To keep it cold. Your celly will tell you, like I was new to the shit. I didn't know. I'm sitting there brushing my teeth in the sink. That's how I was raised. You feel me? Yeah. Nah, you don't use the sink for that.
Facts.
The sink is used to cook food in, and you know what I'm saying? And things like that. So those things you don't know going in, and you damn sure don't know if you ain't never been in.
Facts.
You feel me? And there's this portrayal of that is just hardcore, people getting killed. Yes, people die.
So when you first went in, like this is your first time being in prison.
This is my
and
first
having
time
to do a real stretch.
Right.
So your first time going in, your mind state from you seeing shit on TV and hearing stories from other, because we got a lot of people, we were surrounded by a lot of people and family or wives, friends or whatever that had done time. Right. So when your first time going in, what was your mentality when you going in? Like, were you afraid? Like, what was going on?
I will say I was scared. At the same time, I was angry. I was angry at myself. You feel me? So, I like to relate, out of all cartoon characters, I relate to one. I relate to Wile E. Coyote. Because Wile E. Coyote, as he always mentions, he's a genius. And I feel that about myself. Yeah. And I'm thinking and scheming and trying to figure out, not scheming in a negative way, but trying to put together a plan. And that was like the first 3-4 years of my bid, was trying to figure out a way to start a riot so I could escape.
So all right, because I know that I want the young bulls, you know what I'm saying, to really understand this situation. Like, you getting locked up for your first time.
Right.
Did you go in there with the mindset, okay, I'm going to find one of the biggest niggas or one of the hardest niggas, and you know what I'm saying? Or when somebody approach me, I'm going to act hard.
I'm going to tell you a situation.
How did you deal with that? Like,
so it's actually... It's comical how my first situation went.
Well, we love to laugh, nigga.
So I get there and I'm putting my you get a locker box, you know, think of a small treasure chest, and I'm putting it up on my rack, and it's this group of big ass niggas. They big as fuck. All of them muscle bound. You know what I'm saying? They big as fuck. And you know, I'm a buck. I'm maybe a buck 80.
Yeah, you used to be like you skinny now, but
I done lost a lot of weight.
We all used to be little slim ass little niggas.
You know what I'm saying? So the leader of these guys, they're just doing laps in the pod, and the leader comes up and he said, "Hey, you got some grippos?" Now, in my mind, grippos, I done heard stories. See, you know, you'll hear, if you go into the joint and you end up in the county, you'll hear people making fun of other people that are scared to go to prison. Yeah. Oh, no, I don't want to go, and this, that, and other. They tell you all these war stories about different prisons and things like that. So they were saying at the particular prison that I ended up going to, they were saying that there is a saying when you first ride in, and that's blood on my knife or shit on my dick.
I've heard that saying before, not being locked up, but talking to a nigga who did do hard time and woo-doo-woo. Yeah. So elaborate on that.
So blood on my knife or shit on my dick is a gay term first and foremost, but it's basically like, these niggas will fuck you. Yeah. That's real. Yeah. That's for sure real. And so when this nigga said about some grippos, I'm thinking that's about the grip of the ass cheek. Bro, the grip of the ass. Hey, I'm like, so
see, that ain't what I'm thinking. Some flip flops,
bro. Listen, so while I was in reception,
grippos, and
they telling us these stories, and I'm hearing and shit and not knowing. Again, I'm a thinker, so I came up with a plan. I'm like, nigga, if a nigga try me, this, that, and the other, I'm gonna take my fingers. I'm going to always have my bar soap in the shower, and I'm going to have me my T-shirt. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm good at whipping that bitch. Yeah. Smacking it. Like, I'd catch you right in your eye. Yeah. So I had it in my mindset, if a nigga try me, I'm going to put this, I'm going to dig my fingers and fingernails into the soap, and I'm going to aim for his eyes. You feel me? And then blind him up, and then I'm gonna get my towel, dip it in the water, and I'm knocking off eyelids. Yeah. You feel me? That was it.
Hey man, that's actually, you know what I mean? Because I'm just gonna be honest with you, because when I first got locked up, and I was just in county, I've never been to prison, but when I first got locked up as a youngin', I too watched a lot of TV. Right. You know what I mean? Some of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies, Shawshank Redemption. You know what I mean? And there was another movie with the dude from the wood, the dude, both Stacy and the dark skinned bald head nigga. I can't remember their names. Man, yeah. So they from the wood. Stacy from the wood, and then Mike. No. One of Mike's friends from the wood, the bald head, tall, dark skin. Y'all know who it is. Tap in the comment box and let me know what the names of these people is. But those were some of my favorite movies. They were prison movies, and so watching those movies, you know, my first time being locked up, I think I'm like, you know what I'm saying, like actually in a grown man's prison, jail. I think I was like 16 or 17. So, you know, I'm going in here with all these grown men and with the mind state of, I done watched all these, you know what I mean, first nigga say something to me, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm a thinker too. I'm thinking like, okay, when I get my soap, I'ma have my, you know what I'm saying, I bought some socks and shit from commissary or whatever, and I was gonna wet up my socks. I used to keep a wet sock with a bar of soap. I bought an extra bar of soap just so I can keep it in that sock and it get all gunky with the soap, and then all I gotta do is wet it up, you know what I'm saying? And I would carry that around with me in my jumpsuit, you know what I'm saying? So just in case, just cause the water and the soap, you know what I mean? If I hit a nigga in his face, that soap gonna get in his eyes too, so he ain't gonna be able to recover quick enough, and then I'm gonna get on his ass. You know
I'm gonna get on his ass. It's on the floor.
That's clever as fuck. Hey, great minds think alike, my nigga. Nigga, I'm on some diabolical shit, nigga. You're not taking my ass.
You're not taking my ass, bro. So, boom, the motherfuckers asked me about some Grippos, and it was just natural reaction, bro. It wasn't like I planned it. You know, E40 got a song, you know, practice looking hard. You feel me? It wasn't that for me. It was just, hell no, I ain't got no motherfucking Grippos, nigga.
Yeah. Did you know what Grippos was?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't.
So
he asked me, hell nah,
smart
nigga. I'm thinking shit, nigga. You trying to, bro? It's a whole bunch of niggas. Mm-hmm. It's a whole bunch of niggas and they bigger than me. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And they just doing their rounds through the whole pod, and I responded that way, and then he asked me, he said, well, did somebody else that rolled in with you, they got some? I'm like, nah, I don't know nobody. Yeah. You feel me? Just naturally.
Was you aggressive like that?
I was. That's why I'm saying, like, naturally. I ain't, to keep it all the way tall, like, I never thought of me as that.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I never thought of me as that, but that's how it came out.
Facts. You kind of had to be that, you know what I'm saying, when you was in them Akron streets. Yeah. It's either you fool or you a predator.
Yeah, facts,
you know either you gonna be eating or you gonna eat, my nigga, and you don't really get a choice.
You don't get a choice.
You weak or you strong, my nigga, and the strong love to trample over the weak. That's just how it was.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? The sad reality plus, I'ma shout out to these motherfucking that's really on they shit.
Yeah.
Good part about where we're at today as a society is that's expanded across the whole United States.
Yes,
you could go anywhere.
Yes,
the city that you think, matter of fact, so let me finish up this, and then I'll jump back to my time.
I want these young boys to understand what it's like. You know what I'm saying? So y'all don't have to be in this situation, or if y'all do end up in this situation, y'all know how to move,
I'm gonna give you some if you want it. I'm gonna give you all
the game, whether they want it or not, nigga. You gonna
right.
give it. You know what I mean? That's our job as OGs now. You know what I mean?
So come to find out, Grippos is chips. So at the reception hall that I was at was one of the only spots that was selling those type of chips. So they was walking around trying to collect those chips because they can't get it where they're at.
Yeah.
And you know, I felt real small, but at the same time, it set the tone. Because once I got to my parent institution,
and what's the parent institution?
So all right, so you go to reception, which is, you know, just the basics, kind of like an orientation and things like that, and then they ship you off to your parent institution where you're gonna do majority of your time.
Okay, so you're home, basically.
Right. So. I got there, you know, I went to go hoop and things like that. It's just like the projects. It's just like you gonna walk around the yard and you're gonna see an area where you got the older white people, majority, and you know, they're sitting relaxing, and then you go to the other side of the yard where it's the niggas. And you know, it's always something going on. They passing out, whatever the case may be, hand to hand, generals. You feel me? And when you get in the pod, I remember the first day I got in the pod, like when I set my box up on my rack, it was, or matter of fact, when I walked through the door, it was this tall, light-skinned, goofy-looking motherfucker, and he saw me. At the time I had dreads, you know, I got the coat on and shit like that, forever remoting the coat. And
this nigga that came up with a slogan.
I'm not mad at you, big dog. They came up with it, you know what I'm saying? There is niggas that say, you know, prison either kidnaps niggas or they rescue niggas.
Yeah.
And I remember walking with my coat and a whole bunch of niggas saying, hey, that nigga right there, they rescued him from the street.
Facts.
You feel me? And I remember that. But anyway, this tall, light-skinned nigga seen me. And he was like, oh, man, what the fuck? They letting weird. But this was the weird-looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like what the fuck? I ain't say nothing, man. I kept it pushing on to my rack. And I remember I turned down, they call them streets in the joint. So in the pods that I was in, they had 3 streets. And I stayed on 2nd Street. And as I'm walking, man, you can smell bud in the air, you can smell drink in the air. I'll never forget it. Niggas was playing their music. It was Jadakiss and Nas. And I remember, you know, like, damn, this shit hard. I ain't heard it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I hadn't heard it. I've been going through the county shit. But I walked to my rack, and that's when, you know, obviously dude pulled up and shit like that. But I went to go take a shower, and there's no curtains. I don't know, you know, if you ever been to a gym, how they have the, you know, the slots for the individual. Yeah.
It's like that in the counties.
Right.
It's like that in the counties. Ain't no curtains.
So I remember walking in, and, you know, the light was dim, and it's this big black motherfucker. And, you know, again, from watching TV and shit like that, you know, it always be them bald head, tall, black, big motherfuckers. Dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the
Terry
fuck?
Crews,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. So I'm keeping an eye on him. He's closer towards the front, showering and shit. And he's on one side. They got showers facing each other and shit like that. Right. So I didn't want to go too far to the back because it's dark back there. Yeah. I'm like, I need a little bit of light, but remember my plan implemented. So I got the shirt, you know what I'm saying, up on the wall. I got my soap and shit. So I'm showering and shit, and the whole time, like, I keep glancing back over at this nigga to keep an eye on him. Yeah. And the whole time, he just staring, looking at me. So I'm like, it's about to be that situation, bro.
I can only imagine the feeling.
Yeah, bro. I'm talking about, nigga, my heart is leaping in this bitch. Nigga, man. Yeah, bro. And at the time, just for the listeners out there, at the time, I wasn't no fighter. Yeah. I wasn't a fighter.
So your heart was jumping out of your chest.
So I'm scared, bro.
Anybody jumping.
I am scared. Like, this nigga is big as fuck. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to figure out, like, what the fuck? But at the same time, I'm also trying to convince myself, stick to the plan.
Facts.
You feel me? So as time go on, he disappeared. I go to glance and look, he gone. I'm like, what the fuck? So now I'm looking around, and it's another nigga coming in. Mm. And this nigga, he gets in the shower, not directly across, but across and over one. Yeah. You feel me? And so I'm like, man, what the fuck? So I turn my back, because I don't want to see another man get undressed or nothing like that. You feel me? So I turn my back, but my mind racing. Like, this nigga, what happened to the big nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, they out to get me type shit. You feel me? So I made it up in my mind, like, if a nigga gonna get me, nigga, I'm gonna see the shit coming. Yeah. He ain't gonna get me from the back, bro.
You don't want to just offer the back.
You feel me? Like, this nigga ain't finna get me from the back.
Goddamn.
Yeah, hell nah. So I turn around, and I'm still washing up, but I'm keeping, like, now, this is one mentality that I developed in Oakland, bro, and it's a fuck it mentality. Yeah. And the fucking mentality is, I'ma look right at you. Mm-hmm. I'ma look you in your eye and shit like that, and I'ma see what's going on. Yeah. If whatever it's gonna be, nigga, it's gonna be that. Nigga, it is on the floor. You feel me?
It is what it is.
So I turn, and I'm looking at this nigga. Now this nigga turn around and shit like that. But I don't trust you. I ain't about to turn my back. You feel me? Yeah. So the nigga talk over his shoulder. He said, "Hey, bruh, that side is only used where we put our clothes at. We don't shower on that side." Mm. Bruh, I felt stupid as fuck. Come to find out, so at the prison that I was at, people only use one side of the showers. Because the other side floods into the pod. Oh. So that's where they hang their clothes at. So I'm showering where niggas keep their clothes at. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I said, I use those examples to say, prison is not what you think it is on that level.
Yeah.
It is not.
Yeah. So you have
It happens.
You have to be asking for shit like
Yeah.
that. Man.
It happens. There was a nigga that was known for knocking niggas out and taking it. It's actually quite a few niggas that's known for that.
I would reckon.
Yeah. But the way prison really is, for those young niggas that's listening, that you thinking you ready for prison, you are. I'm not gonna. I see all this shit on Instagram of people telling you not, and your family telling you not. Yeah, you are. You're ready for it. But I ask you this: do you want to? Do you want to be away from your family? Yeah, you with your niggas. I had a nigga that he my brother, man. This my nigga, bro, from Cleveland. He told me the day before he was getting ready to leave, bro, I should just stay here. All my niggas is here.
Yeah.
I ain't gotta pay rent for real.
Yeah.
How long
had he had to do it?
He did about 4.
Yeah,
he did about 4. You feel me? The black and white, when it comes to the hoes, he talk about, we call them black and whites. Some people got color, but it's the pornos. You feel me? You got the hoes. Or we watching, like, it was hella shows that used to come on, Jerry Springer and Third Wheel or some shit, and we called it going to the club. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They had a hoes on there twerking and all that shit. But do you want to deal with that? Do you want to deal with, at any given time, another grown man that you could beat his ass?
Yeah.
Will come to your rack area and take your shit. Like, all y'all talk about, ain't nobody taking nothing from me and this, that, and that. Yeah. I said that. And in all actuality, for the most part, most of my bid, nothing was taken from me. Yeah. But it did happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And somebody took something that I worked hard for.
Yeah.
When I first got locked up, like, I love music, bro. And so they had these little MP3 players. Them bitches was $170. Bro, I skipped on hygiene. Mind you, keep in mind, bro, I'm only making, at the time I wasn't even making the 18 yet. I'm making 15.
Yeah.
$15 a month. I'm stacking up $15 a month.
Yeah.
In order to get this MP3 player.
Yeah.
I'm drawing. People want, cards sent home to their girls and shit like that. Bro, I'm drawing portraits. I'm drawing on envelopes. I'm writing poems. I'm doing all kind of shit. I don't know anything else. You feel me? And when I finally got that player, bruh, I rocked that bitch with no songs on it. You have to buy the songs too.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I just got a player with no songs on it.
Just the thought of having that player, knowing that you had that player,
exactly.
It was humbling.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
bro.
I know music got me through.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? A lot. And we, in the county, when I was around the time I was getting locked up, bro, it wasn't you wasn't allowed to have radios and shit like that. You couldn't purchase them off commissary or nothing like that. So that's where a lot of niggas get the writing. And they get to realizing that, you know what I'm saying, they are musically inclined, and you know what I'm saying, whoop whoop. And I was already doing music, so that was my time, beating on the desks. Yeah. And then there was a couple of niggas that I'll link up with, you know what I'm saying, that I knew from the outside, you know what I mean, we'd all just be, you know what I mean,
and kick it,
you know what I mean, right. Music got me through it.
Making the most of the situation, bro.
Facts. Music and spades, that was my thing.
Yeah,
music
I
and
fucked
spades.
with, hey, I need a good spade
that's
party,
where
though.
I learned how to play spades.
That's where I learned, too.
Learning the county. I'm like,
hit the money, bro. Some of the better hit the cheddar, if y'all don't know, bro.
I'm the shits when it comes to spades.
Yeah, I know these 52s,
like to gamble,
bro.
but nigga, the spades, I'm cold.
Bro, hey, we can make some bands off of that.
Oh yeah,
I'm nice
you
too.
do the gambling. I'm gonna just play just because I love to do it, and I'm very good at it.
I ain't good at gambling. Nigga.
I can't stand gambling, bro. You know what I mean? I watched one of my unks. You know what I'm saying? Man, he rests in paradise. He was really one of my homies, but he was much older than me, and he was a friend. I met him through one of my peoples, one of my family members. So man, he was so much older than me, but he fucked with me as a young nigga. So I call him my unk. But I watched this man this man's life get taken in front of me. You know what I mean? Over a dice game. Gambling and shit. You know what I'm saying? And the nigga didn't want to pay up. So he was defending his honor. Hey, you get the bread. Let me get that up off you. And he wasn't ready for what old buddy had.
Right.
Old buddy was a sore loser, and he took his life and his money as well. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why I don't gamble.
Understood.
You know what I mean? I learned my lesson through somebody else's situation. Right. But yeah, we can hop on those spades. If you deal with it, don't tell me that we're gambling.
Bruh,
and then afterwards, give me my cut.
Give me my cut. I still need
just
to
don't tell me, nigga, because I don't need that type of pressure on me, brother.
Facts, bro. But you know, I left the gambling alone. I tell you a real situation that changed my mentality on gambling. Remember, I told you the old school nigga told me to stay away from it. Yeah. You know, about 6 years into my bid, bro, I done got somewhat comfortable. Yeah. I know the lay of the land. You feel me? And people know me. I didn't want it that way, but I was the only nigga rocking the coat all year. That's why I'm remoting the coat all year, bro. Like
remote in the coat.
People told me that first year they told me I got to my parent institution February, because I remember it was around Valentine's Day, and there was this chick that I was talking to. But her birthday was after Valentine's Day. So I remember, you know, sending her some information or sending her what's up or whatever. But they was telling me, oh yeah, you gonna be mad, nigga. Summertime, nigga, they gonna come take coats. And again,
what, like the COs or the niggas?
The COs.
COs. Damn, they can just come and take this shit.
Yeah.
Man, what am I asking? They can do anything they want to.
And it's funny. That's a whole nother conversation. Yeah. But
I'm gonna make you a series, nigga. You gonna be a series because we ain't even talking about the subject that I wanted to touch on. So we gonna say that for another episode because I also wanted motherfuckers, and I also for myself wanted to hear a couple of, you know what I'm saying, stories about your experience in there, man. Because you know what I mean. I'm one of them type of niggas. I was raised old school by a bunch of old school niggas. You was too. You was around these old school motherfuckers.
I was.
And you know what I'm saying? So we raised off old school morals and shit like that. And so I talk to these young niggas. I check little young niggas. You know what I mean? Like when I see them out here doing bad or, you know what I'm saying, talking crazy or moving a certain type of way. And I know that ain't you. You know what I mean? Especially when I see potential in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I'm one of them niggas. I put some game in your ear for free. I'm not charging you for it, and I'm not gonna be one of you know what I'm saying? We don't have a lot of that, and that's why you got a bunch of these little niggas, you know what I'm saying, running around, running wild, and doing whatever the fuck they see on TV.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's something I actually, and a lot of people not gonna like this, but I actually put that on the generations before, and the reason for that is because if I was to ask you a question, and I'm gonna ask you this question. If you have a child that you're dealing with and they don't fully understand the parameters of their decision, why do us as adults, why do we hold them according to adult standards? And that's what a lot of the old school and parts of my generation. Now, my generation, and not to brag on it, but we raw. And the reason for it is because
I believe in us too, like that too.
Our generation, bruh, we was the generation where we're older brothers. We're older sisters. We're the ones that went out and had to figure it out.
Yep.
We didn't have no hand-me-downs. We had a lot of changes politically, spiritually, changes in the household. We had so many changes within our generation.
And very frequent too.
Yeah, like, exactly. They was back to back. Right, you know what I mean? Right. And for us to, this is what I base it on. The majority of us are still standing. Yeah. See, you look at the generations even before ours, they had changes and things like you think about the Great Depression and all like that.
We're not taking away from them.
We ain't taking away from them. But how many of those were still standing when when the dust settled? Yeah. You feel me? When the dust settled, bro, we just dealt with fucking COVID. Yeah. Whether you believe in COVID or not, I'm not gonna go into that. But the fact of that it set, this is what we were saying in prison. the rest of the world was just tossed into prison with us.
Yep. No, that's dope. I ain't never heard it in that analogy. Yeah. No, that's dope.
Now everybody gets to see what it's like to be in prison.
Yeah.
You can't go nowhere. You have somebody telling you when to eat, when to shit, when to shower. I remember I got into it with a fucking case manager or something like that. I forget what he was, but when it got to a point that they brought in the National Guard to do the temperature checks and check for COVID and shit like that. Bro, I had to piss bad as fuck. And I'm a grown man. I may not be, again, we talked about it, I may not be anyone's definition of a man, but I'm for sure an adult. And I know when I got to use a bathroom. And I handle it accordingly. So I'm on my way walking towards the bathroom and they're locking the gate saying you can't go. And I'm like, bro, I got to take a piss. You feel me? Now, I'm also a ninja. So as soon as they popped them gates again, nigga, I snuck off and did what I had to do. You feel me? Bruh, I ain't.
Did you hit some flips? Scale the wall. Motherfucker.
Bruh, nigga, I was on my secret squirrel shit. You feel me? Like, bruh.
I know one thing. If I ever have to fight you, nigga, I'm throwing something at you first and throw you off, and then I'm running up and tearing off in your ass.
Come with the pink.
You hitting flips off walls and shit.
Believe it or not, bruh, like, when it come to fighting, bruh, like, this is one thing that I always admired of you and individuals that are in that realm, bro. Like, you get to a place and it's that.
Yeah.
Individuals like myself, and I'm only going to speak for myself, but when you're what they call passive aggressive, my mother, I remember getting a horrible whooping for getting into fights. I used to be a fighter. In preschool, I was a fighter. And my mother almost lost her job because of it. They were starting this new program in West Oakland, California, and they built this facility called Y.C.S.T. And my mother was working there, and one of the benefits was that I get to go to the school. And bro, I was getting into fights all the time. And that day, I will never forget it. I got in a fight, and I hit this dude in his nose, and he got to leaking. And, you know, they took me up front to the administration office, and my mother, they called her in, and they said, listen, you need to do something with your son. Either he leaves or you both leave. And that's when I went to elementary. That's when I went to kindergarten. And that's why I was ahead. Because my mother didn't have no choice. And she put it in my mind. She whooped it. That was a good whoop. You know what? Shout out to my mama. That was a good whooping.
Beat the personality.
Man, listen, bro. I didn't want to fight no more after that. I got into one fight when I first got to school, and I remember these kids jumping me. And I don't know if you can see my teeth, my bottom teeth. They're actually pushed back. Dude kicked me in my grill so hard it pushed even the teeth that grew after that was pushed back. You feel me? And I got in a fight with my best friend. It was an accident. I accidentally stepped on the back of his shoes, and niggas hyped it up. And
it was a whole lot of that in Ohio too.
You know,
a whole lot of that around the closest ones. They got that. Oh, dude,
man, you better hit that nigga, bro.
Oh, you gonna let him talk to you later?
Yeah, bro. So niggas put the cables on him, and you know, the funny part is, you know, like how when you was in elementary, you just walk around in circles, shoulder bumping and shit like that. Well, one of the niggas took his hand and threw it, but I'm scientific with this shit. I knew he threw it. Dude threw it and he kept it going. And that was the first time that I saw stars, bro. And I tried to choke the fuck out of him. I really tried to throw him over a banister. And these other niggas helped out. And I ended up on the ground, and they stomped me out. They kicked me in my teeth and
curb stomped you.
Yeah, they dogged me.
Damn.
You feel me? And from that day all the way till high school, I didn't fight back because of that.
You think that does that play a role in, you know what I'm saying, you as you know what I'm saying, being older and whatnot, and you know what I'm saying, why you don't really deal with, like, as far as fighting? You know what I mean? Like,
that has haunted me, and it sticks with me.
Are you afraid that it's gonna happen again, or
no? See, when I went to prison, when I first got there, I had fights.
Yeah.
And correction, I wouldn't even call them fights. There is a nigga that will remain unnamed that snatched me off my motherfucking rack. And I'm going to leave it at that. But I had fights later on that I wasn't going.
Yeah.
Number one reason is because, and this is to be all the way honest, bro. The number one reason is because I had enough. And the first time I put my hands on a nigga, and I remember my nigga, he another one of my brothers, bro, he told me, he always used to try to put me in situations where I go fight, right?
Yeah.
And snap. He wanted to see me snap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, why is you trying to get me to snap? He like, bro, because when you feel it, you're going to love it, and you need it. And it wasn't until after he went home that it happened. And I put my hands on somebody, and the relief.
Yeah.
Like, that nigga honestly caught stuff that wasn't for him.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
But he got it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it felt so good, bro. And I remember going to SEG, like, they sprayed the fuck out of me. And I went to SEG, and I'm sitting in there like, damn, this is, but I feel good. Like, I'm in tune with my spirit. Like, it was divine justice type shit. You feel me? And then, as time went on, I ended up in a situation where a nigga smacked me with a lock in the sock. Actually, it wasn't even in the sock. It was attached to a belt.
Damn.
And he caught me coming around one of the walls, and I was going to fight for somebody else. Yeah. Actually, you know what I'm saying? One of my big brothers, he's doing life. Hopefully he come home next year. You know what I'm saying? But he been locked up since he was 17. And I know he was going to go see the board. I said, listen, I'm your younger brother. Nigga, you got a situation, nigga. Yeah. I got you. Yeah. You feel me? And I just happened to, we was coming from the store this particular day, and I saw the nigga talking to him crazy and swinging a lock. So I'm thinking in my so-called intelligent mind, oh, I'm going to catch him. I'm going to come around and crank him. You feel me? No, the nigga was running right along with me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as I bent the corner, he smacked me. Boom. And I ate it. And then I hit him with the left. Yeah. Put him down. You know what I'm saying? And when he hit the ground, I remember he dropped the lock. And I'm like, oh, nigga, I'm about to kill you. Yeah. And I remember reaching for that bitch, but he knew it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he locked in. So now I'm choking him out. You know what I'm saying? Hitting him in his face, all kind of shit. But they sprayed the fuck out of me. And from that day on, it changed for me. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like society makes us as black kings. You know what I mean? They make us. We're all in that predicament to where we don't like fighting and we don't want to fight. And you know what I mean? When they try to make us out as we're this inferior, you know what I'm saying, culture and this inferior people, like, and we're just violent and we're crazy and we're dangerous. But you have to understand, our people naturally, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're non-violent. Like, you know what I'm saying? We like peace and we like to spread love. Right. You know what I mean? Family. So, but the society that we're in, you know what I'm saying? It makes us feel like we have to be hard all the time. And a lot of us ain't built like that. But we have we feel like we have no choice, because if we don't at least put on that face and that mask, like, you know what I'm saying, then people are going to fuck with us, and people, they're going to eat us up. We're going to be food. Right. Nobody wants to be food. You know what I mean?
I need to use a bathroom.
You got to take a piss, bro? Yeah. Well, shit, we're going to take a brief break. We definitely take breaks here, especially when we having a dope-ass convo like this. So, family, y'all go ahead and take a look at this segment. Goddamn, tell me what y'all feel about it. You know what I mean? And we about to tap back in a few moments. Welcome back, family, from a brief break. I hope y'all niggas used the bathroom. I hope you queens goddamn did what you had to do. Refilled your drinks or whatever, you know what I mean? But now we back at it. So where we left off at, we're leaving off at, our young kings feeling like, you know what I'm saying, we have to be this dominant, this bully of a person, you know what I mean, in the society that we live in, you know what I mean. And I just wanted to touch bases on that, just to, you know, kind of let y'all know, like, you know what I mean. Yeah, we're taught, and it is a rough world. Don't get me wrong. It's a rough life to live right now, especially nowadays, you know what I'm saying, as far as we didn't come, and you know what I mean, how things have enhanced. But you know what I mean, at some point we got lost, and now we believe that we're being made to believe that, you know, being smart and taking the high road is the wrong way, or it's not cool to do that. You a bitch ass nigga, or you know what I'm saying, you can't survive out here, you ain't no alpha. I know plenty of alphas that are highly intelligent. You know what I mean? I know plenty of alphas who
That's
know
what it
how to
mean to be
talk
an
their
alpha.
ways out of things. You know what I'm saying? I call those leaders. You know what I mean? Being intelligent to me, man, is it means more to me than being a tough nigga. I always tell people when I meet new people, man, you ain't gotta act like me, or you ain't gotta be like me. You ain't gotta come from the you know what I'm saying, the walk of life that I come from. Just be genuine. You know what I'm saying? Be down to earth. Be you. Show me who you are. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna show you who I am. I wear, you know what I'm saying, a lot of my struggle and everything on my shoulders. Not because I choose to, but because I have no choice. Like, I can't hide it anymore. I'm done hiding it. It's wear and tear on the spirit.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And I like to just show who I am from the get go. So that gives you a fair chance, you know what I'm saying, to know, okay, or what am I signing up for? What type of nigga am I surrounding myself around? You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Back to that subject, that topic, bro. So I want you to let the family know, like, you know what I'm saying, like, when you go in, do you have to be a tough guy when you first go in? Like, speaking on the prison system, when you first go in, whether it's your first time, your second time, do you have to be a tough guy?
So my answer to that is yes and no. And the first thing that I would like to say is that you mentioned something about, you know, going in and putting on this appearance and what we're taught and things like that. And you mentioned about intelligence and things of that nature. So I dropped this line. I dropped this line.
Hey, you want to answer that, grandma?
Right.
She doing it on purpose.
I did, I was just about to say that. I was about to
Press the
say
end button
it's
on that
probably her
motherfucker.
call it.
Right. That's another conversation for another episode. Goddamn. Yeah, she does shit like
Yeah,
that. But yeah,
facts.
go ahead.
So there was this one movie called Minority Report with Tom Cruise.
I seen that.
And
Yeah.
he ended up swapping certain body parts and things like that. And this homeless guy ended up telling him about the one-eyed man is king. So I use this example. In a room full of blind people, the one-eyed man is king. Or the man with the greatest story that can convince everybody else that he's not blind is king. And what that alludes to is your mentality. Your mentality. I say this. You have to be tough-minded in anything. It's not
Yes.
just prison.
Yes.
You have to be mentally tough. And the way that you become mentally tough is by knowing yourself. In prison, they present you with all of these things that put wear and tear on your mental. In fact, one of the things that I just learned about in tapping in with individuals that are still incarcerated is that they've extended the phone calls. You get longer time on the phone calls.
Oh, word?
Yeah. Before I left, they had introduced tablets to where you could watch movies and listen to music and things like that. All of these things I'm going to say to you is distractions. They are trying to distract you from yourself.
Talk your shit.
Okay? And this is going on the streets as well. What do you think social media is about? Social media is designed to show you something other than who you are.
Right.
Women are known to be the individuals that read novels more than men.
Yeah.
And most of the novels that they read are romance.
Yeah.
Or in the hood, we have, the urban novels and things like that. And most women read those novels for an escape from their reality.
Yeah.
In prison, it's men.
Yeah.
Men read these books to escape.
Yeah.
I
know that's why I did it.
Yeah. You watch TV to escape, to escape from you. And that was something I didn't do. I didn't read those novels. I read nothing but nonfiction. And I will say this, there are nonfiction books or non-fake books that are fake.
Yeah.
And there are fake books that are not fake.
Yeah.
That are real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thus cartoons and all that shit,
of that
movies,
shit. All
and
that shit.
TV shows, music.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, it's everywhere.
But it's designed to throw you off from who you are. I got into it with one of these dudes while I was locked up, and this was at the time that I hadn't come into myself of being a fighter, and I had a dream about it. And in that dream, I kicked his ass and I knocked him out. And I drug him up under my rack and I ate him. And for the longest, I said, that's not me. That's not me. That's not me. But I kept on having these dreams with individuals that I was getting into it with. And for me being in prison, I kept on saying, that's not me. That's not me. That's not me. But yet here I was, sitting in prison.
Yeah.
And it made me realize the only way that you can conquer your demons, you have to face them first.
Yep.
And you have to beat them. And my dad is my dad is a perfect example of that.
Man, that's an understatement.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
I have such a high level of respect for Unc and so many different aspects of it that a lot of family just don't understand.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I just look at things different. I always have been that child. You know what I mean? That spirit that looked at things different. I like to go against the wave. I like to go against the grain because I like to see truth in things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Seek the truth.
And that's this platform was created because that's what this platform is. It's going against the grain because it's about truth.
It's about truth.
You know what I mean? It's about our truth. You know, and I need y'all to always keep that in mind. That when y'all come and join this journey, whether y'all on the platform or you're just watching the platform or just tapping into the comments or whatnot, understand that this platform, what this platform stands for, this platform stands for us, the little people at the bottom that people just blank out and gray out and think that we don't matter and what we say and what we do and how we live does not matter, but it does because I'm in the abyss. I'm in the abyss and I think some of the most powerful people that I come across, such as yourself, you know what I mean, are the people that are in the abyss, not the celebrities that got these big ass platforms and shit. You know what I mean? It's not, you know what I'm saying, people that are successful and wealthy and no, it's people like me, like you, you know what I mean? People that are in the abyss, just trying to climb up out of this muddy ass pit that keeps spraying water around the rim. You know what I'm saying?
So you slide back down.
Period. You know what I'm saying? So it's us. We are the backbone of everything that's going on this day. It was built off of our backs, our labor, our, you know what I'm saying, slavery, our sweat, our blood, our tears, but yet we don't get a chance to speak. They don't give us a chance at the podium. They don't give us a chance to speak what, you know what I'm saying, what we think would change or fix things or what's causing our pain and our hurt. They don't give us that. So it's up to us to give this to give us that opportunity to provide, you know what I'm saying, platforms and atmospheres to where we can come to and, you know what I'm saying, and feel like it's love and it's family and people care about what we got to say and what we're saying. It's going to do something. It's with a purpose, should I say? You know what I mean? And that's why I wanted to bring you on, because you have that similar intellect. You know what I'm saying? I like to think that you're a little bit more intellectual in certain aspects of things than I am. You know what I mean?
Idiot.
You know what
I'm
I mean?
an idiot, bro.
You know what I mean? But I see it as, you know what I'm saying, genius, because this man has, you know what I'm saying, like we've had multiple intellectual conversations, man, and some conversations when we're speaking on certain things, I have my outlook on
so
it.
Many
and
jewels on me.
Nigga, you've been dropping jewels on me, my nigga, and I just be like, nigga, I ain't never.
No,
what the
bro,
fuck? That's
it's
crazy.
Been the other way
you know what I mean?
around,
Like,
bro.
you know what I
Like,
mean?
I'm new to this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I will say there are two things that I have a different understanding as you than in those situations. So number one, as far as it just being us going through these struggles, people even that are wealthy, I'm gonna say this, they are idiots. They are looking for us that have come up out of the mud because we are the most creative. You have to be creative to get it out of the mud.
Indeed. And a lot of that creation comes from you being hungry because you want to get out of the fucking mud.
Right, absolutely. Or something as simple as you feel you have to because so much pressure is put on you.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? And so a statement to those individuals out there, especially, I'm going to say, especially this message is more so for males of African descent than the females. Females, I give you your props. I tip my hat. You are a vital piece. The vital piece.
I mean, the vital, when he says that, and I mean, like, between life and death.
Yes, that's the level. That's the level that I mean it on.
You know what I mean?
That's the level that I mean it on. However, just like a car, or we could even we'll keep it all in the family, and we'll say a body. The body, there are two main organs that they say the body needs. That's the heart and the brain. Okay. The heart continuously pumps out the blood that you need, that the brain needs.
Yeah.
However, the brain tells the heart to do that.
Facts. Talk your shit.
You see what I'm saying?
Talk your shit. I know where you're going. Go ahead. Talk your shit.
So the key thing in this world is a unity in order to get the rest of the body functioning. Now, females, women, girls, you are the brain. And the reason why I say that is because you have access to things that the heart doesn't. Even though the heart passes through it, that's all it is. It's a pass. But you delegate. You tell each individual part what needs to be done. The male, the heart, there are 5 chambers. There are ways that we put energy to it. Number 1 is sex. That is a huge, whether people agree with it or not, sex is a huge energy that communicates an idea or a spiritual understanding.
Because it's a transfer.
Right. Exactly. And it's transferred both ways. Don't get it twisted. It's transferred both ways.
Yep.
But number two, without that, the brain can't delegate if it's not getting the proper oxygen.
Right.
The brain suffers.
Yep.
And the rest of the body shuts down.
Yep.
Now, I hope that those that are listening to what I'm saying, that they both need each other. I was asked what is the most important organ, and initially I said the brain.
Yeah.
Initially I was saying, it's the brain, hands down, because the brain tells the heart what to do and so on and so forth. But my queen suffers from migraines. And one of the things that they think may be an issue is she's not getting to certain parts of her brain. She's not getting the proper amount of oxygen, and that part of her brain has shut down.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it makes me realize, like, damn, they need each other.
Yeah.
And that is the key in life. You look anywhere in society, anywhere. Matter of fact, we scratch out society. You look anywhere in the universe. One thing needs the other. The two. And I'm going to just throw this out there. I ain't going to speak on it or whatever the case may be. I'm going to just say it. For those who understand, they understand. Mathematics. Y'all laughed at Terrence Howard during, I think it was season 3 of Empire. And
that was my shit.
Yeah.
For many different reasons.
Right. Before the episode came on, the news was laughing at him, talking about his mathematics. The math that we've learned is incorrect. 1 + 1 does not equal 2. 1 + 1 = 3. All day. You have one. And I don't care how you put it. We could use you and I, for example. I'm one, you're one. But there's also a relationship between us.
Right.
And that creates
Facts.
3. Automatically.
Talk that shit.
Whether you're spiritual and you want to dig into the Bible, a man must leave his father and his mother, and he's supposed to stick to his wife, and they're to become one. But they must have that cord of God in between them, or the spirit that is between them. That is 3. Okay, so I'm gonna jump off of that and get back to what we was talking about.
We'll tap in on another episode on that, though, for sure.
Yeah. So males, the biggest thing that you need to know this. I don't care what age group, even at the age of 75, 95, or 105, or 5 years old, you are being hunted.
Facts.
And the reason for that is because we are the heart. We are the heart. We make things move. Period. If you don't believe me, all you young niggas out there, when your parents or your grandparents be talking about this old school shit that they was listening to, or they tell you, oh, TV ain't used to be like, look at it. Just take the time out and look at it. Listen to it. And then compare it to what you see going on today.
Yeah.
You niggas out there rather spend more times with your niggas, another man,
Yep.
who's trying to find his way, than with the most vital piece that helps you build a legacy. And prison is where they started at. Enslavement. You talk about, I asked y'all the question about slavery. When you was in school and they talked about Black History Month and Black history, this idea of black and history, why does it start at a slave ship? They might dabble a little bit back into the African heritage, but for the most part, it starts as a slave ship.
Yeah, it ain't the shit that they dabble on too. It ain't nothing vital to, you know what I'm saying, the truth of our heritage.
Right, the truth, bro.
They tell us shit that, you know what I'm saying, enough for us to what's the word to motivate us.
pacify
Yeah, you know what I mean? But they're not going to tell us no truth
Bruh.
of heritage. You know what I'm saying? The shit that's being exposed now by our people. See, one thing I cannot trust a white man to tell my story, the story of our people, bro. I do not trust, even though they may have some things that they say may be vital pieces to our heritage, but to hear it from someone of my descent, I trust it more. I feel it. Like I can, when a white man expresses, you know what I'm saying, our heritage or whatnot, y'all have given us so many deceitful lies and led us down so many deceitful paths. Even if your intention behind it of giving us this information is good
and genuine,
and genuine, there's always an intent behind it. There's an agenda behind why you're giving us this information all of a sudden. Now I don't care, and I don't know, and I don't care to know what your agenda is. And there's no disrespect to other cultures, but if it doesn't come from my people, then I just can't, I can't relate to it, and I won't really take that information and run with it. If anything, this is going to motivate me to go research it and you know what I mean, ask somebody, you know what I'm saying, that I trust with that information. But you know what I mean.
But I ask that you change that, and I tell you
maybe
why.
I'm trying with certain things.
Right. And I give everybody an example of this. The lion, and I always start off with this. The lion doesn't kick it with gazelles. They don't party. I don't care what Lion King you've seen. That just doesn't happen.
Facts.
You feel me?
And there's a subliminal message behind those movies as well. But go ahead, bro.
Right. So we in those movies, and even in real life, the gazelle serves a purpose just as the lion and the grass serves a purpose. Now, it doesn't mean that the lion doesn't listen to the gazelle. And the reason for that is because in the gazelle speaking about its history, telling about the history of the lion, they're exposing themselves. So if you ever want to see a white person sweat, ask them about the Black Plague. They don't want to discuss that. That was, when they talk about the dark ages of their history, that's what they're talking about. For all you who have not seen the movie, it's an old movie, go see Black Knight with Martin Lawrence. It got some laughs in it. But you'll see during that movie, they call him a Moor. And they actually touch on certain things. But to get back to the point,
I hate that fucking movie.
It's
just because of the cliche. It's a cliche to me,
right? But he dropping.
I definitely get, you know what I'm saying, the message that they were trying to convey, but the way they conveyed it, it just pissed me off watching that movie.
But that's Hollywood.
Yeah,
and we know this. We know
said it exactly.
that it's Hollywood. It's Hollywood. And how do you feel when you are in school, a place that you have to be? You're told that you have to be.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah.
Okay? And these individuals come for the shortest month. We all make jokes on it, but think about it. We get the shortest month. And you're told about, and I'm going to say it. You're told about this ugly woman that snuck slaves secretly. You're told about this grown man who comes from a predominant family, and he's supposed to turn the other cheek. All he's talking about is Jesus Christ. You're told about an individual that was aggressive, a hood nigga, and how he got killed by his own kind. If you guys didn't catch it, I'm talking about Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King.
Yep.
These are your heroes. Why they don't talk about Huey P. Newton?
Yeah.
Or Bobby Seale?
Yeah.
Why don't they talk about Idi Amin and how the United States killed his daughter?
Yeah.
Why they don't talk about someone that is fairly known now? He's been talked about a lot more. Mansa Musa.
Yeah.
Why they don't tell you that Hannibal Barcus, he's one of ours. He's us.
Yeah.
And to this day, militaries around the world still use his strategy.
Yeah.
But when they talk about European backgrounds, they talk about, King Henry. A lot of you guys are, you hood niggas might have been familiar with, E40 back in the day, talking about the Louis the 13th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why is it when they speak of their history, it's great, and when they speak of ours, it's not?
Yeah, it's all beauty and smiles and Hallmark
Right,
cards.
right, right. But I'm asking
not understanding that, you know what I mean?
That's
you know,
all
these motherfuckers,
That's
these
all you.
motherfuckers, man, their history and their, you know what I mean, bro,
Yeah.
it's
their
some of the
history
most
is ours.
demonic.
Their
It's some of the
history
most
is
demonic.
ours. That's that's the biggest secret that they are trying to hide.
Of course.
The biggest secret.
Of course.
We've heard of these secret societies: Freemason, Illuminati,
Yeah.
Rosicrucian. Some of you have not heard of it. The Brotherhood of the Light, Children of the Sun. All of these things. Order of the Dragon. These societies is based off of us.
Yep.
They're based off of us.
They basically kind of swapped histories with us.
No,
You
they
know
didn't
what I
swap
mean?
it. They just trying to make us.
They kind of swapped histories with us. Oh, and when I say that, I say that because, you know what I mean, they put a lot of you know what I mean, a lot of their they caused a lot of shit and they put a lot of their effects on us as if we were the reason.
As if we was the reason.
But really, at the end of the day, man, they're hiding a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying, about their history. And their history is actually pretty fucking simple.
It's simple.
It's actually pretty fucking simple. But you gotta get up,
It's
work
simple.
up that motivation to go look and research and find it out for yourself because, you know, these motherfuckers got us. They did a great. One thing I can say.
They good at
They're very, very
opportunists.
good at what they do with tricking
they're
us
not.
and dumbing us down. Right. And
But they're
we're
not.
going to touch on that on another episode because I love touching bases on this shit because they're so smart, they're stupid.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They're so smart, but they're stupid. And I don't really call it being smart. It's more so
Yeah,
they're
I was
clever.
just about to say,
They're clever.
they're opportunists,
You know
bro.
what I mean? Yeah,
They're
clever,
opportunists.
and they're
Just-
good at what they
just
do.
as we
but
are.
They're
If you-
stupid with it, though. There's so many loopholes.
If you were to run into an individual, you go into your local, you know what I'm saying, your corner store or whatnot, and you know you about to go get you know what I'm saying, some chips, some motherfucking Starburst Annihilators or some shit, and a couple of smokes, right?
Yeah.
You know that shit might come up to about $8-9.
Yeah.
Around that. Give
Hold
or
on,
take.
hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, what time frame are we talking about?
Yeah.
What the
I
fuck?
part yourself.
$8 is the cigarettes by itself now.
Yeah. I'm 10 years behind, so y'all gotta forgive me. But let's just say, you know, that's the price it is. But somebody, matter of fact, we use you and I.
Yeah.
So with me not knowing the cost of cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
And I come up to you and I say, hey, bro, you know, I'm new around here. You know, I'm trying to buy some smokes and things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get this whole kit. And you knowing that the cost of cigarettes alone is $8.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you also trying to look out for yourself. Why? Because you have responsibilities as well.
Yeah.
You have a family. You have things that you want to take care of. So, quick footnote for you young people out there, period. Being fly is not what you wear. It's what you think.
Talk your shit.
It's your mind. That's being fly. You've heard so many individuals jumping on various platforms saying, oh yeah, well, you know, Gucci and Prada, they didn't want us wearing it. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. You want to wear what you want to wear, that's cool. Whatever.
Facts.
But I want you to keep this in mind. do you feel the same without it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that you are the greatest without this type of hammer, or without this type of bud, or without this type of woman, or this type of man, or this type of opportunity? Do you feel that way?
Ask yourself that question for real, man. Do you feel like you can still do and move how you move without all of that shit? Without the jewelry, without the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton and all that shit? Do you still feel like you are worth something without that
exactly.
shit
Do
on?
you feel it's so many people out there, you know, we've upgraded and we started calling ourselves kings and gods.
Mm-hmm.
And that's respect, that's hotep. But at the same time, like, do you live as one?
Facts.
Mentally, I understand it's gonna take work.
Yeah.
God didn't just create, you know, if you into that whole biblical aspect, God didn't create the whole universe in one day, or the earth. So it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
But the time that you have, are you building? There is a group, Nation of Gods on the earth. In the earth. Okay? God bodies as well. There's various groups that consider themselves gods. I stopped dealing with them because of one reason. And this was in prison. I don't know how it is out here. I haven't met any out here. But the reason why I stopped dealing with them in prison is because all they wanted to do was swap knowledges. I don't want to swap knowledges. I don't want to just talk about it. I don't want to just protest. And that was going to bring me, that brings me to the other issue. If you want change, you have to make it. You have to make it. A protest, so I use this example of playing tug of war. There are two ways to win tug of war. I could either pull you over to my side, or I could let the rope go and you fall. And that's what's happened to us as a people. We've protested and protested. We need this, we need that, we need that. And they say, okay. And they let the rope go.
Yep.
And we fall.
Yep.
We fall. Someday, I ask that the next generation no longer plays tug of war with these people.
What should they do? What do you think we should do?
Build on top of that dirt mound so that no tug of war will ever be built. I say this. Build your own nation. I'm going there.
Yeah, we ain't gonna go too deep into it yet. We limited on time right now.
My bad. Build your own nation. Look into the laws.
Yeah.
Okay. COVID has showed you guys something. COVID has showed you that you can build your own. It can build your own. Build your own. Look into the laws.
I've seen more black people.
Exactly.
You remember when I first got here? I was here on the 4th, and we was in that other room over there.
Right.
And all the fellas was having that conversation.
Right.
And somebody asked, "What did you?" They said something along the lines like, "What do you see? What has happened through this COVID? Did you notice anything about black people? Did you notice or like?" But they were saying it in the fact that we haven't progressed through this shit. Somebody said that, and I said my answer was, I saw that we've actually, you know what I'm saying, opened our eyes and stood up a little bit. We kind of lifted up because we was laying down, we was taking it, you know what I mean, how we was taking it, and then we kind of looked up like, and I've seen more black businesses be started, shit that people were talking about years ago, you know what I'm saying, but never acted on it. I've seen more people get up off their ass and make a way for them motherfucking selves and others more than I've ever seen in my life,
Right.
my nigga.
Right.
So I said, yes, I've seen black people rise through this shit, man. Because I've never seen black people stand on their own like they stood on their own through this fucking COVID, like they did, bro.
Right.
I think that we did.
We did.
We rose through that shit, and look at what's happening now.
And all I'm asking, all I put out there, aim higher.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is, I'm not overlooking what has been done.
Yeah.
I truly tip
There's
my
so
hat.
much more
I
that we can be doing that
my
needs
hat.
to be done.
And all I'm saying is how these people, whoever you consider the opposite side to be, we've been told, especially our generation, learn their game and beat them at their own game. And I'm telling y'all, make your own game. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
Make your own game. With that segment, we gonna leave it at that shit. Cause I need to. I'm making a series out of you. Bro. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you most of all. You know what I'm saying? All jokes aside, I appreciate you coming on to the platform and sharing. You know what I'm saying? That energy, that spirit, and your knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Some of your knowledge, bro. Because this is what this is about, man.
Bro, listen.
Educate, motivate, inspirate, unification. You know what I mean? That's what this is pushing, man. I'm pushing love, man. Black excellence. You feel what I'm saying? And you don't see a lot of niggas like you or me in life.
That's what I was about to more so highlight you, bro. And you know what? We on the podcast, and you told me whatever. Okay, it is whatever. The reason why I commend you, even though I don't have a full idea of the things that you've been through, the time that I have known you, bro, you was with the shits. And for you to have the mentality to say, you know what? I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm going a different direction. I'm going my own direction. That gives me hope. On some real shit. That gives me hope.
Powerful,
because all we got, we say this all the time, but I've never fully sat and reflected on it. All we got is each other, bro.
Well,
and I ain't just talking about just me and you, but you get what I'm saying?
As a whole, yeah.
Whatever you consider is we, whether it's family, best friend, wifey, queen, job situation, whatever. All we got is each other. And when the other person decides, hey, you know what? I'm not feeling this. I'm going to do something greater. I respect it, because that's a lonely path. For right now.
Man.
We say that for right now.
Yeah.
For now, bro. For right now. And I commend you on that, bro.
Hey, respect. Respect, brother. I love you, King.
I love you too, bro.
Bro, hey, there's a lot of
flesh
shit
over there. You don't see him with his crown, though. I don't know if it's on the game with his crown.
Hey, bro, you know, to hear that from somebody that I, you know what I'm saying, look at in the same light, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's phenomenal to me, and it goes a long way with me, man. You know what I mean? Because I don't do things for recognition. I do things, you know what I'm saying, for change, and I do things to prove. Growth. You know what I'm saying? For growth. You know what I mean? Just to prove that it can be done.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And yes, like you said, bro, this shit is lonely at first. I know it's going to catch on. But if I got to lead by example, my nigga, then so be it. Bruh. This journey is what I choose to take.
Bruh.
You feel me?
Ain't nothing more invigorating and exciting then you taking your steps, bro. I mean, we think about it, even dealing with it, you know what I'm saying, with like a baby or when you first get a car or whatever the case may be, that nigga, that first drive, it's by yourself. But then what happened after that? Yeah, I'm on my way to, I'm coming to scoop you.
Facts. You know what I mean? Hey, 100, bro. Hey, I appreciate that, love. I appreciate that,
Bro,
family.
it's always
I love
gonna
you,
be
King.
that, bro.
I love you, King,
It's
and I'm
love,
definitely
bro.
gonna make a series out of you, man. Because there's a lot of your brain that I would love to pick, and I know the family want to pick. I know they probably would sit
Yeah,
here
I
listening to you like,
understand,
damn,
I
this black
understand.
man right here, man. You know what I mean?
understand.
You're very well articulated, and you're very well spoken, bro. And you're able to articulate things into verbal usage in ways that I cannot at some points.
You can,
You
bro.
feel what I'm saying? I
You
can when I
Y'all
need
ain't
to.
hip to bruh.
When
I don't know
can when I
even-
need to, but in certain aspects, sometimes it's okay to lean on your brother. You know what I mean? To lean on your brother to get your point across.
Understood.
And that's what this platform is about. Showing the greatness of all of us. It's not about just me. It's not just about you. It's about us as a whole, brother.
Facts.
You know
Let's
what I mean?
grow, bro.
Period. And
Let's grow.
I would rather grow together. If I got to
Yes.
start off alone, then so be it. But the objective is for us to grow together.
Facts, bro. I'm whatever I can do to help, bro.
Hey, brother, likewise.
I be that nigga.
Likewise.
Fuck the podcast,
Man,
like,
fuck
bro.
the podcast. You can say it, nigga. Hey, they say you can't say that. We'll fucking say it anyway, then, nigga. Still.
Yeah, no, on some real shit, bro. Like, I man, it's since you been here, bro. Like, it's been a major weight lifted off of me because of the simple fact of a soundboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done came to you and asked you questions, and I'm older than you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm listening because I'm younger than you in this world and in this life, bro.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it so much, man.
Hey, 100. It's love, King. It's love, King. And that right there is why I do this.
Yeah,
you know what I
bro, I
mean?
appreciate
That's
it,
why I
man.
do this. Family, thank y'all, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Y'all can tap into the comment section if you have anything to say, anything to speak on, man. You want to add your input in on it, man. Tap into the inbox or simply tap into the DMs, man, and we gonna talk about it. You feel me? Thank y'all for coming back and taking this journey with us, man. Definitely be looking forward to the next episode. I'm excited right now. I want to cut this bitch off and then start again. Goddamn, but we gonna be patient. You know what I mean?
Facts,
But thank you again, King, for coming to this platform, man, and just sharing your spirit with us, man. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
We need
Thank
more
you.
like us, man. We
Thank
need
you.
more like
Thank
us.
you.
Man.
They out there.
100, man, 100. And we gonna find y'all. We gonna find y'all.
Facts.
With that being said, man, this is Y.C.S.T. You Can't Say That podcast. But here we say, fuck it, say it anyway.
Fucking
Until
say it
the
anyway.
next journey.